Hey everybody, it's Preston here, aka Godzilla Hawk, and welcome to your WrestleMania 37 review. I'm going to be talking about the entire show. So I want to address a few things. First of all, I apologize for not doing the NXT TakeOver review. I was planning on doing that, but I'm tired. I had other things on my mind, so I unfortunately was not able to do TakeOver review for Stand and Deliver. Overall thoughts, I thought it was a good show. That's both night one, night two combined. Just give my quick thoughts about that show. Again, I apologize I didn't get a chance to do that. I'm tired and other things going on in my life. But I'm here to do WrestleMania 37. Now, my plan was to do this video last night. But the show ended. By the time the show ended, it was too late. I had to go to bed, because I had work in the morning. I wasn't going to have enough time to do a review. But since I'm here now, I'll have more time to kind of talk about the show. I'll talk about night one and I'm going to combine it. That's why I wanted to wait, because I don't like doing the two-night things. I think the two-night thing is fucking stupid. I've never been a big fan of it. So because it's still all the same WrestleMania, I decided to wait till everything was done, and I was going to combine night one, night two as a whole, and give my overall thoughts about the product or the pay-per-view, nonetheless, from last night and Saturday. So let's see. What? There's a lot to talk about. I don't want to spend too much time on here, but there's just so much that happened. So I guess apparently, especially on night one, the show didn't start until about a half hour, 40 minutes later, because in Tampa they had rainstorms, that there was potential thunder. So the show would commence first 40 minutes of the show. So that show went overtime. And I believe night two almost had evacuation with possible lightning, but the show went on pretty much on time. So I remember night two was actually pretty solid. I think of getting everything under control and stuff like that. But if you want my overall opinion about at least what I thought was better, night one was better. But again, I'm combining the entire shows. So I'm going to grade WrestleMania for 37 as a whole like I did 36. So the hosts were Taz and Hulk races Hogan. You could tell that WWE was doing the piping crowd noises. Why do that when you have an actual living, breathing audience? Someone explain that to me. Because it was quite obvious, because you can hear boos every time Hulk Hogan talked. And it was even more apparent when you watch some of the live like vlogs and stuff like that. People on the stands are like, you can hear the crowd booing Hogan and Logan Paul, which, first of all, thank you. We are not fucking retards after all. Thank you. We'll add a little bit later. But they were the hosts, and yeah, that's about it. Bayley was not part of WrestleMania, at least on the match card. That was an abomination. Why the fuck was Bayley not on WrestleMania? Or I'm sorry, she was on WrestleMania. Get her ass kicked by the Bell Twins. Embarrassed. No Ronda Rousey, no Becky Lynch, no possible NXT. No. Bell Twins. Knocking Bayley on her ass as she rolled down the ramp. That's all I have to say. But let's go ahead and get started. And I'll say this right now, this definitely felt like a WrestleMania. Compared to last year especially, this is what we needed. I mean, it wasn't a full crowd. They had the cardboard cutouts, but I loved the set. I just liked the whole atmosphere. It felt like a WrestleMania. And that's what really needed. It needed to feel like a WrestleMania, and this, thank God, actually felt like a WrestleMania. It was it was refreshing, to say the least. And at least they used a creative set this time and not some giant IMAX screen. That's what you call lazy. But not near as good as WrestleMania 33. That's going to be the best WrestleMania set ever. At least until later down the road. But that's the best WrestleMania set they've done thus far. It's my personal favorite. So let's go ahead and get through the matches very quick. I'm not going to go to every single little detail about this. I'm just going to kind of go through the main highlights of each show because I know it's Monday and I'm, like I said, and I know Raw's going to start soon. So I'm going to try to get through this as soon as possible. Some matches I'm just going to be very vague about. And you probably know which ones I'm talking about. Next, I'm not next. The opening match was for the WWE Championship. Vince McMahon, he couldn't say WWE. God, that guy's fucking old. He's looking like a skeleton every day. For the WWE Championship, we got champion Bobby Lashley versus Drew McIntyre in the opening contest. I'll say this: I've never been a big fan. I've never liked it with world title opening up the show. I've never fucking liked it. I don't care what the excuse is. I don't care what happened. I don't care who says what. I never have it. If it's not gonna main event, at least for guys, it's put in the middle of the show. That's all I'm saying. I do admit, I think their backlash match, the match at Backlash, I should say. That's the sound was a lot better. And that was a shorter match. But for what we got from these two, it was good. I think it was pretty good. These guys just beat the crowd out of their, nothing really special about either than towards the end, we see Drew look like he was going to go for a Claymore. Looked like MVP distracted Max second, and that allowed Lashley to take advantage, pop in the Hurt Lock, the full Nelson. McIntyre tried to fight out of it, and at the day, though, McIntyre passes out due to technical submission, and Lashley ends up winning and retaining the championship, which I think was the right move to make. Lashley just got the belt. You want to establish him more. It wouldn't make sense to give him that. He literally just won the championship against McIntyre. It wasn't the right time. And who knows, maybe Lashley will drop the titles to somebody new. We have no idea yet. We got the tag team turmoil match. Winners fight for the women's tag team championship night 2. Next match, moving on. Oh, okay. In all seriousness, Tamina won. Who fucking cares? The most memorable spots and moments are going to be Dana Brooks' nip slip, wardrobe malfunction, Mandy Rose walking down the ramp and sliding and landing on her butt because of the rain. So the ramp was extra slippery. Talk today, slippery. And of course, Liv Morgan pulling out probably the best Harley Quinn cosplay probably since. I'm not gonna lie, I got kind of turned on that. But yeah, this tag team tournament match was shit. It was garbage. It was not good, and the wrong team won. It should have been the right squad. It really should have. The time to me, like, what the fuck, dude? That was bullshit. Next, we got Seth Rollins with new music. Hey, at least it's better stupid Messiah music. I'll give him that. But I think I need to hear his music a little bit more to kind of listen, to kind of get a better idea what it sounds like. And he's going one with Cesaro. This is Cesaro's very first singles match at WrestleMania. And I thought this was very good. It wasn't great just because it was too short. I said this, like, if these guys were given enough time, this could have been a match of the year. Contenders could have been a match of the night for the pay-per-view. But it only got a little over 10 minutes. That was the downside. A little over 10 minutes. And it was a shame because these guys worked really well. Cesaro ended up winning. He hit about 20 swings. And Cesaro ended up hitting a neutralizer for second time, pinned Rollins. Rollins, I'll always respect him. He'll always be one of the best in-ring performers. But as a person, he just comes up as a whiny bitch. And if you go on social media, you know exactly what this guy is. Just a fucking douchebag, and he doesn't realize it. It's just sad. But this match was very good. Rollins ended up doing it was like a corkscrew splash, which is kind of innovative. I've never seen Seth do that before. But like I said, they would give this match another at least 5 or 6 minutes. This could have been a much superior match in my book. But they got what they were given, and it was still good. Cesaro got the victory. So, I mean, that's good. Cesaro gets a huge victory at WrestleMania, which is a hopefully a good sign for things to come for him. Hopefully this match will get put. I'm not going to hold my breath on that. Next, we got the New Day defending the Raw Tag Team Championships against AJ Styles and almost the Demos. Basically, this was a handicap match for a majority of the match until almost got involved and he squashed the New Day and AJ and almost a new tag team champions. Sorry, no, just my eyes are I'm a little tired, like I said. This match was nothing really special. Basic TV match. Nothing horrendous, but nothing great. I mean, at least AJ's tag team champion, but this really downgrade. It's like this was really the best thing you had for AJ Styles. Of all things in the world, this was the best thing you could have done with him. I just thought that was kind of dumb, to be honest with you. It was not that. It was nothing special at all. Next, we get Braun Strowman versus Shane McMahon steel cage match. I'm hoping to God this is the end of the feud. I'm not even going to go to the story elements of this because, oh my God, it's some of the worst television I've ever seen in my entire life. I mean, it was fucking dreadful. The report cards, the green slime, the whole stupid. God, I hate this. But as a steel cage match, as a match alone, excluding the bad booking and storytelling, creativity, which that's very loosely here, I thought this was a fine steel cage match. I've seen better steel cage. I've seen worse. I thought for what these two were able to do, I thought it was fine. It was a solid match. Strowman got by Elias and Mr. Second Racist Reichner. I kind of like that. Racist Reichner. And they attacked Strowman before it started, and then Strowman got in the ring, and Shane McMahon got a lot more offense in. At one point, Shane McMahon hit coast to coast, and he looked like he was climbing out of the cage, and he was going to win. And, of course, he's a stupid villain. So he pokes his hand through one of the holes in the fencing, and he goes, waves Braun saying goodbye, and Strowman grabs him by the hand through the other side. And Strowman peels the fencing off that side of the steel cage so he could drag Shane McMahon back in the ring. I do admit, I don't think we've ever seen a steel cage match. So I do have to give credit where credit's due. That was pretty innovative. I will say that. And of course, Shane going off the top of the steel cage. Strowman hits a power slam, 1, 2, 3. Now, like I said, hopefully this feud is over. I am praying God that this is it. Match was fine, but again, the story and the whole stupid thing needs to fucking die in whole. It's just, Then we got to the two matches. One was the most entertaining, and the other was one of the best matches on the night. I would not say it was the best match, but we'll get to that in a minute. We got Miz and John Morrison. Yeah, remember Miz just a month ago? He was WWE champion, and now he's coming around rapping in a bunny, hopping down with a bunch of guys in bunny costumes, which one of them lost their ear. For all you guys in Miz be WWE champion, feel free to apologize for feeling so stupid. You have my blessing to apologize. So Miz and Morrison versus Damian Priest and Bad Bunny. I did not give a fuck about this feud. It's like, who cares? I don't know what Bad Bunny is. This is just a random tag team match. This doesn't mean anything. It's just there. Why are we doing this? And my curiosity was, how bad is Bad Bunny going to do? Because he's a celebrity. He's not a trained wrestler. Thinking, what's he going to do? Like, is he going to be like a Snooki where he just embarrasses himself? Or more like a Steve Hamel, which is going to open up a lot more eyes? And Bad Bunny might have one of the best celebrity debuts I clearly was training. And it was reported that Bad Bunny was apparently training in the Performance Center for months, taking this very seriously. So this guy, Bad Bunny, I have to give him credit. The crowd was hot for him. He did drags, cradles. He did a couple dives. He even hit Canadian Destroyer on the outside, which was fucking great. There are punches that shape it, man. I'll tell you that much. But I loved this match. It was a lot of fun. I had no idea this much fun for a match like this, which involved bunnies and bad rap. Like, the match itself was super entertaining. It was just an entertaining match. And Bad Bunny, like I said, really improved. He did not half-ass this. We've seen people like this who come in, they just half-ass this shit. They don't even attempt to try anything. Bad Bunny, you could tell he was a real fan. He came out in the jacket, black jacket, on a truck. And the jacket reminded me of something like wear. And Bad Bunny, like I said, he put dedication to this. He didn't half-ass it. He looked like he actually was training. Yeah, it was almost like when Shane McMahon first tried out and how great he was back in the day. Like I said, I got to give Bad Bunny a lot of credit. And at the end of the Priest and Bad Bunny won. That's kind of what I figured. Now, hopefully, they will move on from this, and Damian Priest can maybe go after some singles gold, because I do believe Damian Priest. I think if you book him the right way, Priest can make the company a lot of money, and he can be one of the future stars of this company. They just have to really utilize it correctly. But then again, we say that about Aleister Black, and look where he's now. He's nowhere to be seen. Then we get to the next match. WWE SmackDown Women's Championship. Sasha Banks defending against the Royal Rumble, Bianca Belair. This was one of those matches where a lot of people wanted to see. I saw someone saying he would book this match. Just Alex. It's personal for him because of him being black. It's a black on black main event, which, first of all, this was not the main event, and this was not a main event. Okay, I don't care how you spin it around. This was not the last match. Okay, this was the match before the 24-hour intermission before the next show. That's all it was. That's all that was. This was not the main event. I don't care how you spin it around. The main event was the Universal Championship match. You can say I'm delusional, but when you really, because look, if night one was WrestleMania 37 and the second night was WrestleMania 38, then yeah, Bianca and Sasha main evented a WrestleMania. But this is the same WrestleMania just split into two nights, so this does not count as a main event. I don't care who you are. I don't care if you're Sir Alex. I don't give two shits. I'm right. But with that being said, these two are very similar. That they're both confident. They're very swaggerish. They're very confident women. And these two were called to see what they're able to do. And up to this point, like I said, before the main event, the Universal title match, this was the match of the night. Now, I do hear people saying give it 5 stars. I'm not going to give it 5 stars. I think that's a little overboard. But it was a great match. I can't say anything else about it. It was a great match. Bianca, well, and I'll say this. I've never been the biggest Bianca Belair fan. Like, understand why people like her. I never got her, but I'm not going to say, like, oh, she sucks, or I'm not going to say she's untalented, because she is. Charismatic, she's talented. But to me, I always felt like she was missing something. I never knew what that was. And to be fair, maybe it was a great match like this. Bianca has never really had that one standout match in her entire career thus far. She's had good matches, but she's never had that one defining match or moment that made her to a star. But this was her chance to prove it. And I said, her, Sasha kicked ass. They just fucking kicked ass. And I gotta give props to him. To both, this was easily one of Sasha's matches, and this was easily Bianca Belair's best match, with not even hesitation. And Bianca did something in this match seeing her doing felt like forever. She did a hair whip, and she lashed Sasha Banks across the midsection. And after the match, you can see the black mark around her stomach area, like around her ribs. Woo! We talk about the slam heard around the world with Andre and Hulk Hogan. Well, this was the whip heard around the world. Like, this girl, Bianca just whooped the shit out of Sasha with that hair braid. But Bianca ended up winning clean. She ended up pinning Sasha Banks, which Michael Cole fucking botched by saying she kicked out. Phillips might be gone, but yet they're keeping Michael Cole. I never understand that. Anyways. But the match was great. I have really no complaints. I think really, if these two just went a little bit longer at the same pace they were going, this might have been a 5-star match. It was very close. It was a very close match. Alex is already going to give it 5 stars, maybe 10 stars. I know the reason why he's going to do that, but I'm not going to make any assumptions. The match was still great. I'm not going to discard him or anything like that. But this was undoubtedly, at that point, the match of the night. Then we got 24-hour intermission, and then we continue the show with the next match. Randy Orton versus when they introduced the red lighting again for the match, I knew that this should have been a red flag. That should have been a red flag of, we're in deep shit. Randy Orton comes out, completely new gear, white gear, with the turquoise red type of thing. And he looked cool, looked different. He stood out. We see Bray Wyatt, the Fiend, who got burnt on the Titantron before his entrance, and he morphing back into the old Fiend with a slightly new mask, a slightly new Fiend mask. It was slightly different. I didn't notice that. So he's back to the flesh again. Alexa comes out, and they have this giant Jack-in-the-Box. And you see Alexa Bliss turning the handle, and we see Bray Wyatt on top of coming out of the giant box. And next thing you know, he jumps off into a lariat or diving clothesline, and Orton and go at it in a wrestling match. Yeah, Orton, the same guy that burned this guy's house years ago, Wyatt family compound, the same guy that burned Bray Wyatt and nearly tried to kill him. Wrestling match. Makes sense to me. Because I know if someone tried burning me alive, I would want a wrestling match with them. But they have the light, and this is another problem. I don't think a lot of people realize this, but let me put it this way. Randy Orton comes on that new gear. Now it got overshadowed by the fucking red line, because now it all blends in. If the whole point was to have the red line, and also came on the Fiend Bray Wyatt brought back his old look, so now I'm thinking, what's the point of them coming out in this unique gear? This gear that they worked so hard on. Now all of a sudden it was just wasted because of the red line. Because it all blends like watching a Virtual Boy. It's unnecessary. I hate that. The second it did the red line, I knew that should have been a red flag. I was too stupid and naive. I didn't think about that. But Orton hit a few draping DDTs. Bray Wyatt kept on gaining up, knowing Bray Wyatt was beating the crap out of Orton. Looks like he's going to go for Sister Abigail with all of a sudden Alexa appears on the jacket box. After first the corners get set on fire, they shoot up fire, like so they have Kane. And we see Alexa Bliss with this black goo all over her face. And I'm like, did Eddie Brock get a little too excited seeing Alexa Bliss? I know she's an attractive woman, but my God. That's how people get that. And Bray's distracted by this. He's almost trance. Randy Orton then hits an RKO on The Fiend. 1, 2, 3. Wait, what? What? The Fiend loses in 5 minutes to 1 RKO. I don't think I need to say anything else on how retarded that is. First official WrestleMania in a stadium, in an arena, and Orton just hits 1 RKO and beats him. What the fuck are they doing? It seems like they come full circle. First, they push Bray, and they don't. Then they push Bray, and then they don't. My God, he's becoming a fucking Jack Swagger. It's fucking ridiculous. The match was no good, and the ending sucked. The fans were pissed. You could clearly hear them boo. Absolute bullshit is what it was. Absolute bullshit. That pissed me off. Jack Shane Baszler defeated Natalia Tamina for her women's tag team championships. The match was fine, but nothing really special. I think this match went on a little too long. Honestly, it's time to the next couple of matches. Honestly, you really could have, but they didn't. So, the match was just there. Nia and Baszler stuck together as a tag team. I'm so done with this. Can we please get Shayna Baszler or just fucking fire Nia before she injures anybody? Because I'm legit scared for their lives. Next, we got Brandon versus Preston. Oh, I'm sorry. I meant Kevin Owens versus Sami Zayn. Singles match. I've seen these two have way better matches. This was still good for the time they got, but this could have been way, way better. It was too short. Owens, though, did win, so that was a fine choice. And that's really it. I got really nothing else to say. Thoughts on Logan Paul? He was booed. Good. Thank you. We're not retarded. See, we don't forget. Okay? You support this guy, you're a piece of shit. Just saying that. If you support Logan, you're a piece of shit. That's not an opinion, that's a fact. He got rightfully booed. He got hit with a star, which Owens just hit the package powder off the fucking ship with Logan Paul. Maybe put Logan Paul in a fucking hospital with his fucking shitty-ass brother, too. That would have made my night. If they would have done that, this show would have gotten an A+ from me altogether. Now get rid of Logan Paul. I don't want to see any of those douchebags on my screen again. Next match, we got Matt Riddle defending the United Championship against Sheamus. Short but these guys do have great chemistry. They do work very well, very hard hitting, light, high impact. I've seen these matches. Their matches on Raw. They're really great. They really are. They're hard hitting. They're fierce. And it sucks because Matt overplayed this dumb, goofy, horrible dialogue character that we forget how good Riddle really is in the ring. We really do. Really good. And Riddle and Sheamus just have great chemistry. And at the end of the day, though, Matt Riddle looked like he was going for a spring maybe moonsault. And Sheamus hit a bro kick right on the mouth of the chin of Riddle, which looked sick. Because afterwards, Riddle was bleeding from the mouth. It was a cool ending. And Sheamus is now a 3-time United States champion. After Sheamus is done for McIntyre, this was probably a consolation prize, I think they called it. Just a little something for Sheamus. Like, here you go. Thank you for the hard work. For the last few reward. But like I said, again, it was just short. But again, for what they got, I thought it was very good. Nothing really else to say. It was just a hard-hitting match. And I hope Riddle's okay. Because like I said, he took that really bad kick to the face on that chin. Next, we got Biggie versus Apollo Cruz in Nigerian drum fight. For the Intercontinental Championship. I had no idea what the fuck this type of match was going to be, but apparently just no holds bar match. They just put a bunch of drums and candlesticks, tables, and guns everywhere. Again, another problem with the last couple matches. This seems like a repeating affair from the last couple matches. This match, but again, it just felt abrupt. It felt like they were getting to high gear, they were getting ready, and it was just cut short. They just cut Babadook or whatever his name is, returning and costing Biggie his title. Apollo's the new Intercontinental champion, which was the right move to make, because if Apollo lost, he would have been screwed. That would have been the end of him. I mean, you give Apollo this new gimmick, this new turn, just to have him lose at Mania. We all knew it wasn't going to happen. Apollo needed to win this. And people might be upset, but look, get to the main event, you'll understand why it's fine for Biggie to take a loss. Again, like the other two matches, I thought it was fine for what it was, but again, too short. I mean, this was literally almost 7 minutes. I kind of wish they could have got a little bit more time. I mean, really, they just got rid of that tag team turmoil match, and they just put the women's tag team title match on night 1. They could have used that extra time to promote some of these other mid-card matches, giving these more time. I think that night 2 could have probably been better. Kind of how I see things. Next, we got Asuka defending the Raw Women's Championship against the runner-up of the Women's Royal Rumble match. That would be my heavy metal girlfriend. Just kidding. Rhea Ripley. This crowd definitely felt quiet. I thought this was very good. It was very good, but the Bianca Sasha was far superior. I'll admit that right now. Rhea and Asuka, though, did have I did kind of wish they get a few extra minutes of extra time. They did the best they could, but the crowd seemed kind of dead. They were tired. I don't know why. But then again, that's just what happens when you only have 3 weeks to promote a big title match like Rhea Ripley and Asuka. So, but I still thought it was very good. Hard-hitting match, and Rhea ended up winning with the one Riptide, which is good. Because you need to establish Rhea as one of the new faces of the women's division. You need to establish her finisher. And this is the right move to me. After let's be honest, getting fucked over last year. And let's be honest, ever since Rhea lost that NXT Women's Championship to Charlotte last year, Rhea has been floundering last year. Like, it took her a while to finally get her groove back. And finally she got her groove back. And before we say again, even Mick Foley has said this. They needed to strap the rocket to Rhea and just send her on her way. They need to strap the rocket on her. They need to just light it up. Because Rhea and Bianca are two of those women that are going to be the next standard barriers for the women's division moving forward. Most women, they're not going to be around for much longer. Eventually, they're going to want to leave to do other things. You got to have that new breed of women talent coming out, like Rhea Ripley and Bianca Belair. Io Shirai will fit in that category. Maybe a Dakota Kai. Maybe Raquel Gonzalez. Maybe a Shotzi Blackheart. We have no idea yet. But Rhea needed Asuka's accent about a month ago with her tooth getting knocked out and the concussion. Apparently she's going to need new teeth, and it's going to take her several months to recover. So if that's the case, then they need to get the belt off Asuka. So Asuka can take some time to get healed up, get herself fixed, and that way she could come back 100%. But this was the right outcome for Rhea Ripley. I got no complaints about this whatsoever. Oh, sorry. I'm just getting really tired here. I'm sorry, guys. But I did promise you guys I'd give you guys at least a WrestleMania review, so I'm trying to do that. But we're almost done. Next, I have the real main event. Roman Reigns versus Edge versus Daniel Bryan. Union Championship Triple Threat match. Bryan was forced to retire 7 years ago, and he came back. Edge was forced to retire 10 years ago. He came back. Roman to forfeit the Universal Championship because he had leukemia, and we had no idea if he was even going to come back alive. And he beat leukemia again. In my book, this was my match of the night. This was a great match. Not 5 stars by any means, but this was my opinion, the match of the night. If you pick Belair and Banks as your match of the night, I'm not going against you. I understand why. But in my opinion, the Triple Threat was my match of the night. Jey Uso tried to get involved early, and then he got taken out early by Edge. These three just beat the piss out of each other. Saw Dan Bryan get put through a table. Edge lock in and Edge and Roman had a double spear, head colliding with each other. That was kind of funny. You see Edge using part of a steel chair, almost like a bottom run of the chair, and putting it on Roman's mouth while hitting a crossface. And on the other side of Roman Reigns, you got like his own submission, the lapel lock. That was a cool spot. Edge looked great. Daniel Bryan, I know about Daniel Bryan, which I don't understand why. Daniel Bryan made this match 1,000 times better. Roman and Edge, I think, would still be very good, but with Daniel Bryan there, the match just better, became better, more fluent. But these three were just beating the piss out of each other, and there was near falls, breaking up. So we see Edge. He looks like he's going to do a double concerto on Bryan and Roman. He has a concerto on Bryan. Bryan gets get out. He goes to Reigns, and he looks like he's going to hit Roman Reigns with the concerto, and all of a sudden we see Jey Uso come back after getting the basically DDT on the steps thanks to Edge, the execution. Edge spears, pounds Jey with the chair a few times, and he goes to go after Roman, but Roman hits a spear on Edge. He grabs a chair. He concerto of his own to Edge. He drags Edge right on top of, puts it right on top of Daniel Bryan, and Roman pins both Edge and Bryan. And here's the thing that people are always starting to point out. Technically, since the Edge was on top of Daniel Bryan, and Daniel Bryan's shoulders were on the mat, technically Edge should have been champion because he was on top of Daniel Bryan first. Clearly, that's what they're trying to do. They're going to tell that story with that happening moving forward. Roman Reigns still retained. This was the right, and here's why it was the right outcome. Heyman or Edge and Bryan should not be the ones to defeat Roman yet. Reigns, I think, needs to lose to a new guy. Cesaro, he won against Seth Rollins. Cesaro could be that guy that match or two out of Roman. Biggie. Biggie is no longer Intercontinental Champion. He can move away and maybe eventually down the road he could fight for the Universal Championship. They got some options for Roman. I'm just saying. So that's why I think some people need to kind of hold the brake on some of this stuff. But like I said, that main event was great. Like I said, overall, I enjoyed night one more. And Brian and Bradley Thing, like he enjoyed night one a lot more. It was just more entertaining, more memorable. But this is WrestleMania 37. It's combined. And I said this in the title card. This was one of the best Manias in a long time. I'm not going to call it a great WrestleMania. I'm not even going to call it even one of the best. I'm not even going to call it better than WrestleMania 31 because I still think WrestleMania 31 was a lot better. But this was still a major improvement compared to the last 3 or 4 WrestleManias. This was a major improvement. So I got no complaints. I thought this was an overall very good show. Not perfect. There's some stuff I did not like about the show, but there's a lot more positives than negatives. I had to be honest. So with that being said, thank you guys so much for the video. Tell me down below, what do you guys think about the show? Did you like it? Did you enjoy it? What was your match that night? Let me know down below. I'm getting tired, so unfortunately, sorry rushing this, but that is my quick thoughts of WrestleMania 37. So like I said, overall good show. I give this an 8 out of 10. In terms of the entire show as a whole, I give it 8 out of 10. Strong B. So that's pretty much it, guys. Thank you guys for watching this video. Take care of my peeps. Have a good night. See you guys next time.